Welcome back to the Perfectly Holistic Podcast. I am Pam, and I am so excited to have my friend Deanna from Deanna Reiki with Deanna join me for another really cool chat. And if you guys have been following us for a little while, you'll remember that a couple years ago we did a whole year series long on manifestation and changing paradigms and all that great stuff. And it was phenomenal. And I don't know about you, but I certainly got a lot out of that. I think the more you teach it, the more you absorb it, right? So welcome back, Deanna. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited about this because we've been practicing this for like 5-6 years, right? Consciously. Yeah. And now I'm finally seeing all the work paying off.
Yes. And I want people to understand that manifestation isn't just magic. You know, you can get into the weeds, as we were talking about prior to starting this episode. But I think sometimes people try to make it too complicated, and it really is about the energy. When it all boils down to it, it's all about energy. And it comes down to the energy that you are as an individual, the energy that you're putting out, because you are a beacon of that energy. So whatever you are putting out, you're attracting. So I think one of the first things people should remember is be aware of your energy when you want to manifest things. Because if everything you're manifesting is not what you want, you've got to look at who you are and what you're putting out there, attitude,
yes,
all that kind of stuff, because you're manifesting whether you realize it or not. And if you're getting what you don't want, you're still manifesting.
Yes, it's like the law of attraction, right?
It is the law of attraction and the law of vibration.
When we're like magnets,
yes,
certain things to us, like you said, what we're putting out.
Yes, exactly.
Or what we're not, like what's subconscious.
Yes.
Like both.
Yes, exactly. And that goes back to just self-awareness, right? And that mindfulness and being aware, if more than anything else. We've been toying with the idea of this episode for several months now. And there's a reason Deanna was really pushing me to do this. So we'll share that with you guys here in a second. But let's talk about, we are officially now in the year of the fire horse. This is part of the Chinese zodiac. It's all energetics. And, have you noticed things moving faster, manifesting faster lately, but also feeling more intense or more unpredictable?
I think everything is being magnified and accelerated. So, like we said, whatever you're putting out there, whatever is subconscious is drawing stuff to you quicker, whether it's good or bad, or what you perceive as good or bad. Because I believe everything is good.
Yep.
But you know what I mean? Bad.
I do. Yeah. So the theme, again, the fire horse energy theme, for those of you who haven't seen the previous show, it's all about speed, it's passion, it's action, it's transformation. And I know those are very big words. And when you put them all together in one energetic, it can be very powerful. So that's why we thought it would be a really cool episode to talk about the energy that we're currently in. And how manifestation can shift or does shift in this energy and what to do with it. Because this is your time, for good or for bad, for better or for worse, as you came up with this pretty cool title. And there's a whole nother element to that we're going to share. But let's talk about real quick. So snake to fire horse energy, the snake last year, the energetics of the Chinese New Year last year was all about snake, which was moving slower, but it was really also a lot of internal energies. So can you talk a little bit about that, what that looked like?
I think, yes, it was internal, but there were a lot of changes, a lot of loss, a lot of things shifting. And I think people really went through it last year. Like some people went through the ringer.
Yeah.
bad things happening, like all, you know, one thing after another, or perceived as bad.
Yeah.
But it was really, I think, preparing us, you know, we're shedding a lot of stuff that wasn't in alignment with where we were going, what we're manifesting, what we truly want, what our purpose is. And so we had to let things and people and situations and jobs like fall away that help clear the way for what's coming and what we really want.
Yes.
A lot of, like you said, a lot of relationships, whether it's romantic or family or friends or coworkers or whatever, a lot of people I feel like fell off the radar. And we're getting fired or quitting or getting let go and laid off. But those were actually good things, because I think the universe tries to help us nudge us in the right direction if we don't do it ourselves, because a lot of us don't like change, or it's not human nature to lean into change because we like comfort and we like what's known, not the unknown. But so I feel like the year of the snake was just kind of prepping us, you know? What do you think?
No, I agree. And I use the analogy of the closed fist. You know, I think, and a lot of people, they get very sad and down when their relationships do change. But I think part of that is just we're growing and we're moving in one direction, and some of the people around us are not moving in that same direction. So we take different paths. We fall away, we stop hanging out with certain people, or we move to a different job because that just doesn't feel good anymore, or there's just not that alignment that you once had. And it's usually because someone is growing and moving in a different direction and the others are not. That's not a bad thing. We all have a choice to do those things. But my example was, you know, the closed fist. If we're sitting here, we're wanting certain things, but our fist is tightly closed because we're holding on to what we think we need or what we currently have. We're too afraid to let that go, but we can't accept something else if we have a closed fist. We have to come in with open hands, open heart, and go, okay, what does the universe want to give me that's for my highest and best good? And if I'm like this, then I'm closed off to getting those things. But if I come in with an open heart, open hand, and go, okay, whatever it is I'm supposed to have, go ahead, I'm open to that. I think that's just being open and receptive is like the first step, so that energy can go out and come back to you with like, oh my gosh, well, guess what? You have a promotion, or you are, you know, you met some really cool people, or you're having some wonderful new experiences because you were willing to let go of something else in order to have room for those things to come in, right?
Yes, I think it is a lot about old energy.
Yeah.
Last year, that we needed to clear out, detoxify parts of our lives, declutter, let things fall away to make room for new energy and new manifestations and what we really want, and get rid of the stuff that was holding us back.
Right. And that requires a lot of inner work.
Yeah.
And a lot of self-reflection. And, you know, in my case, and I know you probably do this too, is I spend a lot of time journaling. I spend a lot of time in meditation. You know, just that self-awareness, things like those downloads that you get, you're like, I need to really think about that. Maybe that's an area that I need to still address. You know, becoming aware of triggers and like, why am I getting so upset about that? Maybe I need to really dive in and look at that a little bit.
Yes, I think that's where a lot of people, probably not in our group, in our world, but maybe in the 3D world, a lot of people don't stop to think about their emotions. Why something pisses them off, but it doesn't piss other people off.
Right.
Does it piss you off?
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
Where does that come from? Yeah. Yeah. It's so wild. Yeah. It's so easy to see in other people, not so much ourselves sometimes too, you know?
I think it's so fun to have a negative emotion, because the first maybe 35 years of my life, I think I was 90% not happy. I had to distract myself with fun things and friends and vacations or whatever. Because if I couldn't just sit with myself in silence and meditate or just be with myself. And so, and now it's like different after doing all the work that you and I have been doing. It's like 90% content and happy.
Yeah.
And so when new negative emotions pop up, I think it's like a game. I'm like, ooh, how can we get rid of this? And how can we transmute it? What can we learn from it? How can we really like let it go and release it? And
That's cool.
The good in it, or, you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the things that we want to talk about and introduce, well, let me let you introduce our the reason you wanted to do this.
Yes. So, oh my God. I am so excited because Pam has manifested her soulmate, her dream guy, her like her partner in crime. Like, he is just amazing, and everything that she thought about and talked about and felt literally played out like step by step by step last year, like from the moment, and I was there from the beginning. So I've been wanting her to share everything with you guys, because it's like, it was like reading a book or like listening to an audiobook in real life, because I would constantly like reach out to Pam and be like, okay, so what's been happening, or what's new, or because I wanted to, it was like a book.
It was like a book.
Yeah, so I want you to share what you did and how it unfolded and where it started.
Yeah.
Until present day, because it's a real life like fairy tale.
It really was.
Yes.
It really is.
So start probably back in end of 2024, maybe?
Yeah, because that's really when things started to unfold for me. As you guys know, one of my strongest gifts is intuition. And so I tap into that a lot, not only with my job, but personally as well. And I get literally download messages. And then sometimes I'll get, and I was seeking, healing, emotional healing, a lot of internal healing, from my previous marriage and just career and, all of that. And then 4 years ago, I quit that job. I got divorced. I moved to a whole new town, and it was a fresh start. But I knew it was a cocoon time. It was a cocoon time for me to be by myself and heal and just reflect and figure out what I would do differently in the future and what kind of a relationship I wanted in the future. But at that time, it was like, I just need to focus on me. So that's what I did. And then the end of 2024, slightly before that, I knew, okay, I am open to the idea of a new relationship. I wasn't seeking it, but I was open. And for the longest time, I was very closed. I was like, nope, don't even talk to me about a relationship. Don't want a relationship. Don't even want to date. I don't want anybody coming close to me, whatever it was. And I was very adamant about that because I knew I wasn't ready emotionally, spiritually, whatever, right? So at the end of 2024, I was just curious. And sometimes I'll just lay out some tarot cards. I'll ask a general question. I was like, okay, what can you tell me about this coming year? And, I've been open enough to meeting my soulmate. What can I, expect in the coming months? Well, I kid you not, I was shown that I would meet my soulmate in the spring, and spring meant March-ish. And I didn't know what that looked like, but at some point in the recent past, at that time, I was open, I was given I call it a download, that I would meet my soulmate dancing, country dancing. I didn't have any concept. I didn't have any frame of reference what that meant, if that was at a social event, if I was just out with friends, or I didn't know. I was just shown this is how you would meet someone, your soulmate. I'm like, okay, well, that's exciting. And so I was I was entertaining that idea, and then I have to give credit to my good friend Julianne Thorne with Naturally Cats, because she's been through this with me since day one, just like you have. And, I was still cocooning at home, and she's like, "You're not going to meet him locked up in your house. You need to go out and start socializing and just put yourself in a social setting." And I'm like, "You know what? You're right. I can do that." Um, and she's like, "What would you like to do?" And I had to stop and think about what kind of fun would I want to do, because I haven't had fun, like fun, in such a long time, because everything has been work, related and responsibilities. And so I had to really give it some thought. And then when I realized, you know what, I want to go country dancing. I haven't done that in years. And then I was like, oh my God, I need to go take lessons, because I don't even remember how to do it all. I mean, I'm sure I can pick it up. So I decided at that time that I would start taking dance lessons. And so there is a local Arthur Murray studio in Georgetown, and I signed up for a free lesson. And I went over there and I did this free lesson, and then I signed up for the next group of, I don't know, 6 lessons to like get me started into that whole series. And it was expensive. And I was like, I don't care, I'm doing it, So I put it on the Amex. I'm like, thank you, Mr. Amex.
Look, wait, can I interrupt for a second?
Yes, interject.
So I love this because I love it because part of manifesting is doing what brings you joy and what
Yeah.
you love, and finding things that you like to do, because like we said, everything's energy. So you want to exude the good, fun, happy, positive energy. So I'm always telling my clients to go find things that they love or things that they enjoy doing.
Mhm.
And then the second thing I wanted to point out that Pam did was she invested in herself, even though it was expensive. When you make the decision that you want something or you're going to do something and you declare it and it's in your head and in your mind, the universe oftentimes will send the money to you.
Yes.
But you have to like make that decision and declare it first before the money actually appears.
It's
So
that
anyways,
step. It's like taking that step in faith. Like, I don't know how I'm doing this, but I'm just going to take the next step, right?
yes. And I'm not talking like frivolous,
Sure.
materialistic spending of money, but the investing in yourself in like a intelligent way,
Yeah.
and in a way that is going to bring you joy and expand you and like,
Yeah.
raise your vibration. So anyways, sorry to interrupt. Just want
No,
to point that out.
that's perfect. And we kind of scripted this, not scripted, but set it up so she can interject things, because she remembers along the way. So that she's got some great points to kind of point out as we go through this. So again, we're moving through snake energy, and this is through the healing process, and this is starting to like shed your skin like snake. Shed to create the new you, or whatever you want to say. Um, so I started those lessons mid March. It was March 12th of last year. Well, the next week was the first week that I went to an actual event, like a social event at the studio, and lots of people come and we have a dance party and we learn different dances and all this kind of stuff. And it was a lot of fun. And so I started to meet people that were members of the studio, and this progressed weekly. So I was going every week. Um, there was nobody that was standing out to me, like there was no mutual attraction or anything like that. It was just putting myself in a social setting and feeling comfortable with myself and getting used to meeting new people, in a safe setting, if that makes sense. And then several of the people or the members of the studio would meet up at dance halls, and we on weekends, various weekends, depending on which band was playing where, and we would all meet up so we wouldn't have to feel awkward going to these places by ourselves, especially if you're single. And so we would meet up at these places and we would just dance all night with each other. So, you're not having to dance with total strangers and feeling awkward. You kind of know these people, you've been practicing and dancing with them in a studio setting, right? So it wasn't as intimidating. And so that's what I started doing for April and May. And then one of the friends that I've met from the studio, asked me to be his date at a military ball. And again, friends, right? I'm like, sure, I'll go to the ball with you. And I've never been to a military ball, so that was fun. That was the whole idea was kind of exciting. But it took our friendship to a different level, but still very platonic. But it was like, okay, we have this goal. Now we're working towards going to a ball. So we would still, and that was John. We would still go out with friends on the weekend and just meet up and this and that. But he and I started spending more time together. Go ahead.
I love that you were open to new things and you said yes to
Yeah,
them. Because a lot
yeah.
of people, they stay in their comfort zone, or just,
Mhm,
they want to curl up at home, or
mhm.
which is what I like to do too. But but so like, I don't know, it's all about also being open to new things and actually doing them and saying yes.
Yes. And it reminds me of something that I did a year prior because I went back and I looked in the journal that I wrote it in last night. It was a year prior, March 17th, 2024, that I actually wrote out because we were doing the whole Bob Proctor change your paradigm
Yeah.
focus in our podcast. So one of his assignments was write out who your ideal partner is, all their characteristics, what you want that person to be like, from career to emotions to spiritual to interests to mannerisms to, what family background, career, mindset, all of those, anything that is important to you, write it out. And so I did, and I just wrote it out. I'm like, okay, this is my ideal person. And I just like, it's like sending a gift out into the universe, like, or a wish. This is who I want. And I just
Like
let it out there. And
it's like
a year prior. So
it's like placing your order.
it's placed
And
in order.
yes, and you need to, well, you don't need to, but I find that speaking it out loud
Yep.
accelerates things too, and calling it in, and also clarity. I feel like it's important when we're manifesting to be as clear as possible so that you can see it and visualize it and feel it, whatever it is that you want.
Yeah.
But the clarity is important. And also, I also have a list of like 253 things or whatever. But you want to write out as many things as you can think of.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to be greedy, or I know no one's perfect. I don't want to ask for too much. No, change that belief and be clear on exactly what you want, because we can manifest anything we want. And so whatever you don't put on the list, you might get. So
Yeah.
put as many things as you can, and say it all in positive words.
Yeah.
So like, I don't say doesn't snore,
Right.
because the universe might hear snore. So say sleeps silently.
Yeah.
Right. You got the idea. But
Yeah.
so the list, love
The,
it.
the list and be, like you said, is specific. So I did that a year prior. So fast forward, John and I had started going, like he knew I was curious about going to different dance halls, and he would say, well, let's go down to such and such dance hall. I know you've never been there. Let's go down and we'll go to this place and I'll show you this. And again, I was just like, ooh, thinking, oh, this, sure, he's safe. He's my friend from the studio, and it was comfortable. Um, but as that expression goes, something happened on that dance floor.
Wait, but stop, because you asked the tarot cards, like if you had
Oh,
met.
yes. I was checking in pretty regularly with the cards. Like, okay, am I going to, is this the weekend? Because I knew there was going to be an event. We were going to a dance hall or whatever. And again, I'm oblivious. I'm just like open, right? Is this the weekend I would meet my soulmate? And I would keep getting like, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And, it's exciting. It's like, okay. And I could literally interpret through intuition and what they were saying. It was always very positive. Yes, but you have a little bit to work on. So I would continue to work on stuff. And it got to a point in June, because again, I went and I actually would take pictures of spreads because they were like, oh my God, I got to remember this one. And some I sent to Julianne. And so I was looking through some of them to kind of get an idea. And oh my gosh, mind blowing, because I've forgotten what a lot of them were. But anyway, to make a long story short, at one point, and it was in June, and I don't have a picture of the layout, but I remember looking at the spread because I had asked, "Is this the week?" Because I could feel it. I could literally feel the energy. It was like a magnet. It was like I knew he was coming. I could feel. It's the weirdest thing, but I could feel the energy, still not knowing who it was, but I could feel it was coming. It was almost like a presence, and it was intense. And so I was like, is this the weekend I'm going to meet my soulmate? And one of those days that I was looking at the spread, it was telling me that I already had. And I was like, what? What do you mean I already have? And at this point, he and I was starting to kind of even get like feelings of a little bit of jealousy whenever somebody else would dance, he'd go dance with other people. And I'm like, oh, that's silly. What am I thinking? We're just friends. But one night we went out, it was July 4th weekend. And it was just the two of us. He took me to a place that I hadn't been before, called the Cotton Club over in Granger, Texas. And it was a Sunday evening, and it's kind of a cool family event place. It's a restaurant, all this, and they have a dance floor, and there was a live band. We had the best time. We were the best dancers on the floor, and it was just magical. Everything was clicking, and something clicked in me that night, and I didn't want. When he dropped me off and he went home, I was like, I didn't want the night to end. It's like I just love being in his energy. And I was very confused by it all because yes, I was consciously aware that as we got to know each other and spent time together, he was checking off all those boxes that I had written out a year ago, like almost to the T. But he wasn't my age. He was younger than me, and I was specifically asked for someone my age, so I didn't even think it could be him, which was confusing to me. So that's why it was kind of funny when I'm like, huh, why are you in my head? Why are you in my head?
Maybe it was your soul age.
Yeah, because he is older, mature wise.
Right.
And I feel like I'm younger
right
age. So we kind of meet in the middle. It's the universe knew exactly what it was doing.
Yeah.
Well, it's not about a chronological age. That really doesn't matter at a certain point. And he'd even said at one point, I said, I'm so much older than you. And he goes, that doesn't bother me. And it always stuck with me like, okay. Well, we're hanging out because you don't mind hanging out with someone a little older than you. So anyway, he got in my head and I couldn't shake it. And I was asking my guides that next morning after that night out dancing, and I said, what are all these emotions coming up? And a song came up on my phone. I have a Pandora app, and it goes through algorithm or whatever on one of my channels. And this song came up by Restless Heart. It says, don't ask the reason why. And it was like someone with a bullhorn going, are you awake yet? Don't ask why. It just is. It just is. And I was like, I can't tell you how many, I probably played it 10 or 12 times that day. It's like, what?
I love signs like that.
I mean, it couldn't have been more obvious, right? So anyway, to make a very long story short, he came over for dinner that night, and it was the first night he initiated kissing me for the first time. It was so cute. And I was so taken back and shocked by it. I just changed the subject and kept going on in another direction, I was just like, okay, well, obviously he's feeling the same way. Anyway, it just evolved from there, and it was beautiful. It was just seamless. We're on the same page. We enjoy the same things. And like I said, he checked all these boxes. And so, we had the big military ball the next week. And that was a blast. And seeing things from, what he does professionally, because this is career, he's been doing this for 17 years now, and where he wants to go with all that. And it was very cool to be at such a really nice, exclusive event like that. So, over that next month, as we spent more and more time together, the connection, I mean, the energy was just like off the charts. And I would ask him, "Do you feel this?" He's, "Oh, yeah." And it was like the universe was showing me confirmation of everything that I had asked for
Oh.
in this person that I had. It was like having blinders on until all of a sudden the blinders come off when you're ready and your heart is open and you stop making excuses and trying to, it's like, oh, it can't be that. If you're just open, it's finally like presenting itself. Wow, what a shocker. Because even things that I didn't have on that list turned out he would have those qualities that I never even thought to ask about. But that's how smart the universe is when they know your heart and what you're really seeking. And sometimes, wouldn't you agree, it's hard to put into words everything that you want.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't think about stuff.
You don't because
You don't know what you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know, and sometimes you don't even know what to ask for. But it's the energetics of it all. And so I remember telling you, I said, "I'll have a ring by the end of the year," right?
Yes.
The ring by the end of the year, but we had already had conversations by October of getting married. I mean, there's these little conversations that would pop up as we talk about stuff, and it was the cutest thing to watch them wake up. Yes.
Was the potential of him moving for his job before that or before?
It was before that. Yeah.
Before marriage talks, right?
Yes, because he knew in order to develop in his career, to go up in his roles, he would have to transfer to a different job, a different post. And so he told me, and that was sometime in August.
Because you manifested this too.
I did. And I had told him when he was saying, I'm going to be moving next summer. And I just looked at him and I said, well, you're just going to have to take me with you because I feel like I've waited my lifetime to find you and I'm not letting you go. And he was just, there was a shock on his look in his eyes that I asked him about later on. And he goes, I just never expected you to make that kind of sacrifice. And I said, you're worth it. I've been waiting. And he let me back up and also say he's never been married. He doesn't have kids. He's put his career first. And so he was at a point in his life that he also, it was kind of a surprise, but he didn't, like his soul was longing for a partner to spend and enjoy life with. But he had been so focused on his career and his job, and that was fine because he didn't have any other responsibilities. But then here I come, and he told me later, he goes, "You're exactly who I needed, when I needed you, and what I needed, and like the right time, the right person, the right place." It's like something in his soul started to show me in December of 24 when I was shown that I would meet my soulmate that next year. He was having that same kind of longing at the time. And the card showed me that too. I didn't know who he was, but I remember checking in and go, how is, I'd call him Mr. Soulmate because I didn't know his name. And I was shown that he had been focusing on career. But during the holidays, he kind of got a little nostalgic and goes, gosh, it'd be really nice to have someone to share my life with. And that was his soul's way of reaching out with all of his desires and his list of expectations and hopes. And it drew our energy found each other, if that makes sense.
Yes. And then didn't you say that he could move or to another country, or it could be like anywhere, right?
Yeah, based on the job that he chose. But he he has 2 cats. I have 4 cats, so now we have 6 cats. I told him he couldn't go anywhere where they required vaccines. And he was like, okay, okay. And he had so many choices here in the continental United States, he didn't even need to. He didn't need to go overseas. He didn't need to leave the continental US to find his next position, which is in Virginia Beach, by the way. So here we are at the end of 2025. I moved in to his home at the end of December. So again,
you like manifested that too. It was like, first it was, okay, he needs to get a job here. Then it was like, okay, I'm going to be married by then, or, no, wait, maybe that came later.
I thought I would be engaged by the end of the year, but but we had talked about, we knew at that point that we would be getting married. He just hadn't asked the question yet.
But moving in, I think you wanted to move in together before, we
wanted to blend our cat families and give them time to get to know each other and bond before we picked them all up and moved across the country. So that was our intention, to go ahead and consolidate households at the end of December. And so
then that happened, and it happened.
Yes, it happened. And then, so, the first 6 to 8 weeks that I would say probably 4 to 6 weeks that I was here, it was just about transitioning and blending our kids, and I say kids, it's cats, and just getting used to like feeling like a family, if that makes sense, and knowing that the next future steps were coming. Here comes fire horse energy, right? In January into February, and he pops the question basically as a surprise Valentine's. It was his birthday, February 13th. We were going to go out to celebrate his birthday, but no, he got this wild hair earlier that same week. He goes, I need to propose. He goes out, buys a ring. He books the restaurant for his birthday, thinking we're going to go celebrate his birthday dinner, but he had a whole different agenda planned that I didn't even clue in about.
It's like the perfect surprise, because you're thinking you're celebrating his birthday and Valentine's Day.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was hilarious, because he had gone and he left work that day at lunch and went over to the restaurant, took the ring, and he's talking to the restaurant owner. He goes, I need your help. I'm going to propose tonight and give her the ring. Can you help me figure out when to give it to her? And the man of the restaurant was just like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. I'm going to go ask my wife, Lily, who runs the cake shop 2 doors, they're in the same strip center. So he had his wife help him figure out how to present and surprise me, which he did. It was like totally out of the blue. I was not expecting that whatsoever. But that's how the universe works. Like when you stop focusing on something, it's like, poof, surprise. That's why I couldn't even stop laughing in all the photos that we were taking. I was just laughing because I'm like, oh my God, you got me. You so got me. So this is where the fire horse energy really started to come into play.
But wait, even before this though, didn't it come to you that you would be married by spring or something like that?
Yes. Okay. So going back to December 2024, when I was asking when I would meet my soulmate, and I was shown spring of 2025. And it's true, because I did meet him in the spring. I met him in March. I just didn't know who he was until June, July, I'll say July for sure. But I had also asked, okay, if I'm meeting my soulmate, how soon before we get married? And I was shown spring of 2026.
And then it manifested.
Together, and I didn't plan it out. It just worked that way. So to give you guys an example of how fast things can speed up, at the restaurant, we got engaged. The owner of the restaurant, who has his wife has a bakery, he's like, oh, I'm going to take you next door and introduce you to my wife. When we were finished eating dinner, he takes us next door, introduces us to Lily. She is an amazing baker and makes wedding cakes and all this. And we're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And she looks at us, she goes, "This is perfect timing. I own a wedding venue and we're having an open house next weekend. Can you come?" And I'm like, "Yes." And so you talk about everything lining up. It's like, okay, this is the coolest. I went to the open house. I met all these vendors. He was at work. We met with Lily the next few days later at her wedding venue. We're just like, oh my, this is a beautiful, we want this place. We signed it. We made her our wedding coordinator because she does that at her venue. Um, we hired all the vendors that I met through her open house. All of our bases are covered. We meet with, the decorator, the florist, and Lily at the decorator's place, and they coordinated everything with us. We got it knocked out in 3 weeks. What planned 3 weeks.
It was like a domino
Yeah.
effect.
I
Like
ordered,
boom, 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 boom.
yes, I ordered my dress a few days after we got engaged. I mean, everything's done. Everything's
Oh,
done.
and your ring.
And the ring. Yes. We went to the jewelers like, I don't know, 3 weeks ago and finished picking out bands and everything. I mean, when I tell you everything's done, everything is done. Everything's done.
And it was so easy.
Seamless. It was seamless. And it feels like the snowball roll, like you said yesterday, the dominoes. It's like one falls and they all start to fall in place. And it's been seamless. That's how you know you're in alignment. If it's seamless and you're not fighting like swimming upstream, it's just seamless. And we're just enjoying the ride. So we've got May 2nd is the wedding, which is 2 I can't even believe that. We're moving the second week of June. So it's like it's just rolling. We're just rolling with it. It's just
fire horse energy.
horse energy. And it's all up, like you were saying, it's fast moving. It can feel a little chaotic because it is so fast moving. But when it comes together, it's like whitewater rafting. You just sit back in the raft and you just let the river take you through it. It's accelerating. And that's part of that manifestation in the fire horse energy. It's acceleration. So things are going to feel like they're speeding up. And I can't tell you, from the time we got engaged until now, it feels like it was weeks ago, but it wasn't. It was it feels like a long time. It wasn't. It was such a short time ago. It's like, wow, time has gone by so fast. You also talked about amplification, like everything seems to be amplified.
Yeah, and I feel like time is speeding up, right?
Yeah, it does feel like that. And it's, one of the things that, like the amplification, your emotions, your desires can be amplified, but also your misalignments can feel stronger. So if things are just like, if you feel like something is stopping you, there's a reason why something is stopping you. Don't fight it. Just let it stop you and redirect you, because it is for your highest good. Trust that. Another thing about the manifestation and the fire horse is about action. Like you were saying, it's like just step out and take action. We didn't dilly-dally around, oh, let's go see 5 or 6 venues. We looked at it online. We're like, trust me, I spent some time looking at venues online months ago because I knew this was coming. So I wanted to at least have an idea of what's available. And the more we talked about it, it's like, you know what? We want to get married in Texas. We don't want to get married in Virginia. Most of my family's here. Let's find a place somewhere around here where we don't have to drive 2 hours to go, have this event. And it's kind of central Texas, and people can come here. And his family's from all over the country, so they're going to fly in regardless. So we didn't waste a lot of time. It was like, no, let's take action. We've got a beautiful venue. We've got someone who's knowledgeable, who's got these amazing vendors. They work well together. They all know each other. They put on amazing events. I don't need to spend a lot of time shopping around. It's like everything came together. But we had to make those decisions. Like, you know what? It feels right. Let's just do it. We like this.
Yes. Like, I
Take
feel like
action.
And people, I feel like something that was important for me to learn was following my heart.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we all get caught up in our heads.
Yes.
So get out of your head, get back into your heart, stop like the crazy, all the confusion. And like, what do you really feel? And like, what lights you up and what feels good and what makes you happy? You know what I mean? And like, who plans a wedding in like 3 weeks or whatever you did? That is fire horse right there.
It is. I think, and don't second guess. There's, I know we're getting long on time, and I didn't want to miss, just, the roller coaster effect that it can feel like. We did have one. I mean, he's even bought a house. He bought a house in Virginia in March, and he's closing in like, I don't know, 10 days.
That was fast too.
That was fast too. Like the first one we wanted, we didn't get. But then I'm like, you know what? No worries. Then the perfect house is going to come along. It's going to be what we want. It's actually in a better location. It was less money, and then the whole, it's all working out. It's like, don't get lost in the weeds. Just go with what's presented with you. And I think, most people have a hard time trusting because they can't see too far, or they're not sure. We go back to what you said. They're not sure exactly what they want.
Yeah.
You and I are so aligned in what we like and what we want. And that's one of the things that keeps blowing my mind. It's like, I'll look at him and go, you like that too? Oh my God, we have that in common? I mean, we're still discovering things like that. It's like, you have that in common too? We both like the same thing. Just order for me. You know what I like. Well, I mean, it's crazy like that.
I think following the breadcrumbs is important.
Yeah.
Like the universe will guide you, but I think people miss it. They miss the signs, or they don't believe in themselves or whatever.
Yeah. And I think, to kind of wrap things up here, one of the things that I still do, and it was hard at first when I first moved here, was just trying to get settled in a new routine. But now I do it more on a really regular basis, and I'm even doing it with him, is spending time grounding, spending time meditation, do your journaling, alone time, clear your mind, mindfulness. Get up early, get up even if 10 or 15 minutes early, spend some time in just meditation and, close everything else out, check, put your to-do list for the day aside and just spend time regulating your nervous system so that you can be confident in those signals that you're getting, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to meditate every morning, like at 4 a.m. That's another thing. My bunny rabbit I remember years ago, he started waking me up at 3 or 4 a.m. And I keep telling my clients this, they're trying to wake you up so you meditate at that time. That's the best time to meditate and for guides and angels or whoever to get through to you. But anyway, so if people are waking up in the middle of the night, just meditate. And if anything, that'll put you to sleep because a lot of people hate meditating and pass out anyways.
Yes. It can be very calming for sure. But that's what I would say is stay flexible, stay grounded, regulate your nervous system, spend some time in mindfulness, meditation, have that quiet time so you're not always you can get caught up in that chaotic energy if you're not grounded. So that's one of the things you can do to kind of balance that out a little bit.
Yeah.
Any other final thoughts? It's been amazing. It's been an amazing ride, and it's still mind blowing to me.
Yeah, I just love it. I hope you write a book or something. But it's also getting out of your own way. I feel like it's overcoming your fears and doing all the inner work, shadow work, stuff that has to do with your childhood, everything that's carried over into your adulthood.
Yeah.
And I feel like once you clear out all the subconscious stuff, then you have room to bring in the new energy and to receive what the universe wants to give to you.
Absolutely. And I think this goes right along with what you said. It's about becoming the version of you who can hold what you're calling in.
Yeah.
So I guess our question to our viewers is, are you ready for it to arrive quickly? So what is it you want? What are you calling in? And are you ready?
Yes. And can you see it?
Can you
Really
see
play
it?
it out, you know, for the foreseeable future, like 10 years from now. What are you going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you
Like,
may not have all of those things in mind now, but start a journal. Start a list of, whatever you want now, and just start writing it out and putting it out there. And you can continue
oh,
adding to that, right?
here's an example of why to do that. It's because, like, for years, I used to manifest boyfriends, right? Like, or guys I dated. And I thought I wanted to get married, and I thought I wanted kids, and I thought I wanted the whole normal picture, the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But then I realized, and I never had a conventional relationship, but I realized it was because I couldn't even imagine or visualize marriage or even like a solid relationship because my parents weren't a good example. So
Mhm.
I wasn't even conscious that I couldn't picture it.
Yes.
And so my manifesting stopped before anything really serious because I couldn't see it.
You can see it. Or you
So,
didn't know what you wanted because you didn't have a good example to follow.
right, but you can imagine
Yeah.
stuff, you
Yeah.
know, and
Mm.
what you want, where you want to go, what you guys would be doing, how you would feel, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But I couldn't even go past just dating and getting the guy. Like, I
Yeah.
got the guy, and then I didn't know what to do with him, and I couldn't imagine it, so it just stopped right there.
Oh,
Now I can see it.
is that funny? It's
But
so.
what I want is unconventional. So it doesn't matter what you want. It
Mhm.
just get clear on whatever it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be what everyone else is doing.
Right. And it doesn't have to be relationships. It could be career,
Yeah.
it could be friendships. It
Yeah.
could be where you want to live. It could be the kind of pets that you want. I mean, it's endless. Just figure out what it is that you want.
Do you know what? I don't think I told you this, but I figured out what I wanted. I love gay guys, right? I want a gay guy, we'll just call him a husband, where we live together, whatever. But then he goes off and dates his guys, and I go off and date my guys. But we're like the unit. Like, I want my gay guy bestie, and how unconventional is that?
That's funny.
That's what I want. Anyways,
Oh my gosh. Well, we will definitely, whatever it is, this is the fire horse energy that you can tap into and manifest for better or for worse. Like we talked about in the beginning, you can draw in what's not going to serve you, or you can draw in what will serve you. It's your choice.
and focus on what you want,
Okay.
not
Not
what
what
you don't.
Yeah.
Especially in the news.
Yeah. Exactly.
Don't focus on the war.
Exactly. So last final thoughts, and we'll wrap this up.
Like you said, it's all about energy, but energy encompasses a lot
Mm-hmm.
because everything is energy.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's getting rid of all the negative subconscious stuff. I feel like is key.
So do the inner work.
Yeah.
The inner work has to be done.
And the energy that you can't see that's stored in your body has to get out. So
Yeah.
find it. I can do it, or find an energy healer. Pam can do it, where we can extract that out of the body.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And free you up for the life that you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. I love hearing it.
It's pretty wild. It's been a ride, I tell you. Wild.
So excited.
Yeah.
So happy for you.
So thank you so much. Well, thank you guys for joining us. I hope this has been inspiring to you, and let us know what it is that you want to manifest. Drop a comment below, share the show, and we just thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time for our next podcast. So until then, thanks you guys.